They're calling for a full investigation into the deaths of more than 100 protesters on June 3rd. A planned meeting between the protest coalition and the military junta to sign off a power-sharing deal has been postponed until later on Sunday. Those talks have been brokered by the African Union and neighbouring Ethiopia. Hiba Morgan has more from Addis Ababa.
They're the same chants which were heard at the sit-in at Army headquarters in Khartoum last month. 40 days after the military attack on the sit-in, the chants are being repeated nationwide. The protesters demanding justice, not only for the dozens of protesters who were killed then, but also for the lives lost in the months before.
Our daily struggles with daily death that we face daily from December. Our friends and families that have died in Burri, in Bahri, in Shambat, in Burman, and finally in the sit-in. We have to bring back the justice for the blood.
The sit-in started in April following months of protests demanding the resignation of President Omar al-Bashir. He was ousted by a military coup, but the sit-in continued as protest leaders known as the Forces of Freedom and Change held talks with the junta. Talks broke down in disagreements about who should lead the joint transitional government. On June 3rd, security forces stormed the peaceful protest camp outside the army headquarters. Sudan's Central Doctors Committee, which is aligned with protesters, said more than 100 people were killed and hundreds others injured. The government said the total was 61. Talks between the protest leaders and the junta resumed a month after the attack, and the two sides agreed to form a transitional government.
As protesters in Sudan continue to demand for justice and accountability for the killings of their fellow protesters, their leaders are here in the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa. They're meeting with armed groups within the coalition which are dissatisfied by the transition agreement with Sudan's military council.
The deal includes a 39-month transitional period, the first 21 to be led by the military and the last 18 by civilians before elections are held. But many of the details of the agreement have yet to be published. The armed groups in the coalition say they want the deal to ensure an end to the wars in the various parts of the country.
We've all participated in this historic revolution, so we just need to come up with a deal that is agreed upon by the armed and civilian groups and recognizes the aims of the peaceful and armed revolution. We will work for peace, so we are sure a deal can be reached that will please the whole of Sudan.
But deal or no deal, protesters who came out on Saturday say too many lives have been lost to let go of their demands for justice. They say if the killers of the protesters aren't held accountable, then any agreement on the political future will be incomplete. Hiba Morgan, Al Jazeera, Addis Ababa.